Welcome, welcome. My name's Arna, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on using the Active Club HTML editor, and we're going to use it to create a newsletter from scratch. Now, some facts about HTML and email. Email clients like Outlook do not accept all HTML and style sheet commands. You have to be careful on how you use the editor. Keeping it simple is the best. Use table-oriented layouts. Use images when you want to get decorative rather than using style sheet commands to do things like rounded corners and drop shadows. They will not render in email clients. Some email clients are okay, Google, Apple, but Microsoft, no. Make your images to scale. Email clients will not scale images, although some email clients do. Many do not, so you do need to make your images to scale. And finally, always send yourself a sample before publishing an email. Now today we're going to be making an email similar to what you see on the right-hand side here. There's a newsletter layout. So I'll show you how you do the layout, do hyperlinks, sectional images mixed with text, buttons of two different types. We have two different kinds of ways of doing buttons. We'll show you both. And then formatting. So let's hop over to Active Club. Now on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, you'll see a button called Document. We'll click that. These are all the documents that have been uploaded into your database already. These are templates that you can use for making emails. We'll be updating these and making new ones as time goes on. There's one, I'm on Twitter. Here's come dine with us. Come to the party. Bed and breakfast. So on. But that's the subject of a different video. So I'm going to now show you how to make something from scratch. So I'm going to right click on here and I'm going to say create new HTML document. And let's maximize it. So put new, I'm going to put here a title for it, Dublin Winery Newsletter for video. I'll save that. And you'll see that that document has now been inserted into our list. Now this little icon here is the automatic save button, which defaults to on. I'm going to toggle it off. Now the first thing to do is to make a basic layout. So I'm going to go with 3 rows. Select it, make it the width I want it to be, make it about that wide. And then we're going to center it. I'm going to right click on it, and you'll see these are all the commands you can do on these tables. Quite a lot. We're going to pick table properties. Pick center. Hit OK. So now our table is centered. We've just got 3 rows. And on this second row, we're going to put insert headline here. And I'm going to style it to be a heading and give it a nice big font. When you treble click on it, you should get the whole row. There it goes. It's 3 clicks of the mouse. select the whole paragraph. Now I'm going to pick a bigger font. Put that size there. And then on this row here, I'm going to put our logo and some text. So first of all, let's get the logo. Well, we have to put a table in here that's a 1 by 2. There we have a 1 by 2 table. We'll size it, be the size of the whole email. I have 2 cells. This cell I'm going to put in the picture. Click on the button at the top that says Image Manager. So these are your own images that you've uploaded. You can upload from here, you can delete. These are the shared images that are available to all, which you cannot delete and you cannot upload. Go down, pick a logo, and insert it. Now over here, we're going to put in some text. We go grab some text. So there's some copy, and above that copy, I'm going to add the current date. This is a field that you can embed into your email that will pull the current date out the day you actually email it. And then I'm going to go hi and pull another database field, customer dot first name, and we'll right justify this piece, this date, left justify the rest. Maybe put a comment at the end there, and then I need a spacing here. This is too close to the logo, so I'm going to right click on the cell, go to Cell Properties, and I can go More Cell Styling. And these are all the various things you can do with a cell. I'm going to go to Box, and I want on the left, I want 50 pixels as a padding. There we go. Now, underneath the headline, we're going to put some links. Link 1. Bump these up in size to, I don't know, 28 point. Maybe too big. 24 point. There we go. So got some links. I want to get rid of that space there. And I need to now turn these into hyperlinks. These words, whatever these words that you want to use. I'll highlight it. And there's an icon here. All these icons you can hold your mouse over and it shows you what they do. There's a spell checker, search and replace, you can print, cut and paste, and so on. And as a note, you can cut and paste from other products, like you can cut an Excel spreadsheet and paste it right in. You can paste from Word. You can paste from pretty much anything into the editor and it'll convert it to HTML. I'm interested in the Hyperlink Manager, so I'm going to click on that. And we're just going to make all these hyperlinks real easy. abc.com. That's the words. Now I'm going to color it. This is the only way to color a link. I'm going to pick a gray color. There are many, many colors in here, but we wanted the gray color. And let's do that with this one as well. Hyperlink Manager. abc.com. Pick the gray. And do that for the last link. abc.com. And gray. Okay. So voila. Now we have 3 hyperlinks and a heading line. Now let's get into the newsletter itself. I want to add another row. So I right mouse on the table and I can go insert row below. That'll give me a space that I want one more row. So there's the row I'm going to start my newsletter in. So I'm going to make another table, 1 row by 2. Highlight it. Pick up the handlebar and move it across. I've got 2 cells. In the first cell, put a picture. Image manager. And I'm going to pick a picture of a barn. Throw that in there. And you'll notice that the sizing, now this other cell is way over here to the right. But when I paste in my text, it automatically sizes nicely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a header here. Insert a header line. Highlight it. And then pick the style. Now we'd like to move it up to the top. I want to make a space here, and I want to move it up to the top so it's top justified. So let's get the space in first. Here's my cell. These are the 2 cells in my little table. Pick the right-hand one. And I'm going to say that my left margin is, this case will be 30 pixels. Make it 35, 36 pixels. Okay. I want to move it up top. I'll do that in a minute. Now let's add another row. We'll throw in another table. Two columns, 1 row. Highlight it. You get the full width. On the right-hand one, we're going to put in a picture. Get the picture of the barn. And on the right-hand side, and left-hand side, I'm going to put in my copy. Go to the beginning of that line and put my insert header line. Select it. Pick the style. There you have it. Now again, we want a border. I want a border here or padding. So I'm going to right-click the cell. Cell properties. This time we want it on the right-hand side, 36 pixels. So now we have a little space here. You can see. Another row. Insert row below. Add another table. 1 by 2. Highlight it. Stretch it across using the handlebars. Now there's my 2 cells. And I'm going to, this time I'm going to make it a little easier. I'm going to just copy this picture, paste it in here. And then the words, I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm going to just double click, copy, pick the cell, paste it in. Let's say that I made a mistake. Here is an undo command. You can do all these undos. So it now undid the paste. And then I can redo that redid the paste. Now, cell properties, and we want on the left, we want 36 pixels. Okay. And we also need that insert header line. Select that. Pick the style. And there we have it. Now, I want to move all of these guys to top. All these words I want to move to the top. I'm going to show you a new way of doing that without bringing up the dialog window. There's a command under here called Properties Inspector, and it brings you up this little quick toolbar. So I can just highlight here and then pick an alignment of the top. Now there it goes, and I do the same here. Pick an alignment. Do it this one as well. The alignment. So now they are nice top aligned. We'll add one more row. Show you some other features of this. So I'm going to add a social line at the bottom. So I'm going to add this time I'm just going to add a 2 rows, 1 column. Here it is. Let's stretch it out a little. I need to center it, which I can do right here actually. And then I'm going to write, join us on social media. Take that text and center it. Then we're going to put an icon down here. Go to my image library again. Go grab a Facebook picture. And I'm going to center in there too. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to add another button over here on the right. So I'm going to click Insert Column to the right. Click on here. Back to my images. Let's go find a nice Twitter picture. There's a Twitter picture. Okay. So, but this doesn't really look good, so I want to get rid of the top column. So I can click on that and I can say merge cells horizontally. And voila. I have a table with 2 icons. Let's squish it up a little bit so it doesn't look so tight. And there we go. Now the next thing to do is to hit save. Now I want to change the fonts. I want to get all these fonts right. I'm going to select all, which is a Control A. I think there's a button up here to do that too. Select all there. And we're going to pick Verdana. It won't change the size. It'll only change the font name. And there we have our Font's all set. So this is all Verdana now. Now I think that if I treble click on this, I can actually bump this up to 18 point. Double click on this, bump this up to 18 point. Double click on this paragraph and get that to be 18 point. And then my social media thing, let's get that to be, it's already 16, so 18 might be too much. No, that's okay. Now you could fiddle with this a little bit. Say you wanted it to be a little higher. You could click on this cell and then increase the height to 30. Didn't do it. Needs to be more. So we'll take it to take it to 50. It's not doing it. Don't know why. We'll skip over that for the time being. Now, colors. First thing I want to do is get my headline a different color. So select it. Go over here to the colors. I'm going to pick a dark gray. And then these guys, I want to be my corporate color. And I'm going to go over to the color picker. And that color is not here, so I'm going to add one. This window opens up where I put in my web color, which would be 10.10.1. And if I open this up again, you'll see that there it is, added a color, which is B10.10.1. And there's my red color for my text. Do the same here, red and red. Okay. And this text here needs to be the same font as below, so make that 18. And we'll bold this as a bold button. And we'll have to make that an 18 too. And the date, I think we're going to bold the date. Okay, so there's the basis of the newsletter. I hit the save again. Now we need some buttons. We need a button here, and we need a button on all these other sections. So here in this icon here, insert code snippet. If you open that up, it'll allow you to insert a button. There's a button. That's a nice square button, and it is a hyperlink button. And I can add another one down here. And another one here. And I can go and change the text to anything you want it to be. And you can also change the link. If I go here to Hyperlink Manager, I can say that I want it to go to abc.com. There are ways to make rounded buttons in HTML, but it will not render in the email properly. Some email it works, some will not. So, but I do want the color to be the same as my color. So if I select the table, I can pick here my color, and now at least it's got my correct color. See that? And then I could change this into read a lot more. You can add make this text anything you want. Now, if I pop over to preview, you'll notice that there's no room here. I need to insert a paragraph in front of those buttons. Go back to the design, click on here, and I'm going to click, there's an icon, there it is, paragraph. And if I go back to preview, there's a little too much, there's a space in here. There we go. See? Not too bad at all. I could do that with the others. And at that point, other than making these social media buttons hot, this would be nearly ready to go. But I want to show you how to make image buttons instead of these kinds of buttons. You can make fancier buttons. So I'm going to click on the button, and to delete the button, you right-click, or the table, you right-click on that table, because this is a table button, and then click Delete Table, Delete Table. Here we'll go. Delete Table. So let's save that. And now we are going to go to something called the Button Factory. So here I open up the Button Factory. Let's minimize this one, tile it. So here's my email on the right, and my Button Factory on the left. I want the button to say, read more, and let's put a ... The font, I'm happy with that font, but the color I want is different, so I'm going to put my same color, which is B1010-1. And then the bottom button color, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say I'm going to go C1010-1. Make it slightly richer. It's very little difference. And then we'll apply the bubble effect. There's a little bit of a bubble effect on the top of it. I don't want a border, but I'll put in some shadow. We'll go with a shadow to the south and the east. And let's increase this up until we get a nice 3D looking button. There's my button. I don't mind that button at all. So you can go fully curved, but I think I'm going to go with a rounded like this. And there are other things you can do to change the button, but I'm happy with that button. So I'm going to download the button, save it, give it a name, video button. All done. I'm done with the Button Factory. Come back over here. Now I need to get that button into my image manager. That's not automatic. So I'm going to bring up the image manager. And I'm going to hit the upload. and select. I'm going to pick video button, open. And if you scroll down here, there's an upload command. There we have, there's our button. Now I will insert it. And I don't know where I inserted that. Put it down there. Oh, that's fine. So I'm going to now put in all those spaces. If I go to preview, I'm sure they're squished up. See that? I need a paragraph. So even though there's a space showing the designer, you need these spacings that you see with the squares don't necessarily, they're not exactly what you're going to see in preview mode or when the email goes out. It's for your assistance during the design mode. So I'm going to put in a paragraph, which is there. Go over to preview, and now you see it's nicely done. Now to do the others, I can just click on that, copy it, Control-C, come up here, Control-V, come up here, Control-V, and we'll do a paragraph there, and a paragraph here, and we need to get rid of all these spaces. Like so, and just go over to preview and see what it looks like. Too many spaces. So we have some spaces in here that we can get rid of. There we go. Or was that was the paragraph I got rid of, I think. And hit enter, and paragraph. Spaces here. See what it looks like. There, look, looks reasonably good. They all look the same. Now, the next thing is to turn those guys into hyperlinks. And to do that, you can do this on any image. This is on the barn. You can do it on these buttons or on those Facebook and Twitter buttons. So we're going to click on the button and right click. You can go to the properties of the button, or you can go to the image properties. And we'll go to this image map editor, and we're going to add a new area. And put that little square up, and then I'm going to select an area that is, if you click on that area, it will go to abc.com. Voila. Do the same with the other ones. Image map editor. So the go new area. A little tricky to get that tiny square. abc.com. Okay. We'll do that in the last button. New area. You can also make circular areas. And abc.com. They're all done. Now you'll notice this is sort of a square. It shows you where the area is, but in preview those don't exist. So the reader of the email will never see those. And then we do the same thing on the ones at the bottom. click on that, image map editor, new area, pretty well done the way it, good the way it is, ABC, com, this one, map editor, new area, abc.com, and there we have the email is good to go. We'll save it. I think we have the design we were looking for. And we're ready to roll. So let's get out of the editor, back to the document window, and we'll refresh. Here it is, the one we just made. There is our email. And by default, it doesn't add a subtype, so we're going to put that this is a newsletter. And here, the subject is actually the subject of the email. So email video presentation subject line. Save that. Now we're ready to send the email. So now let's go get a customer. I have one pre-selected here. You can always just enter one or thousands, but I am going to go to right-click, send custom email, compose and send. Pick the one I just made, and there we have it. There is our email. But you'll notice it has the standard surround that we insert to all emails in this compose and send. And you don't want that in this particular case. There are cases where you do want it. The default is that you want it on. So let me show you how to get rid of what we call the HTML surround. So I'm going to go to my, let me do a refresh so we get, there's my email. I'm going to, I could edit that email HTML right here, but I'm going to do it in the HTML editor. Go to HTML, and I'm going to go up here and say HTML. So I put an HTML tag at the beginning. So that's tag HTML. And then at the very bottom, I need to put the end tag, HTML. That's all you need, is HTML beginning and end. So the slash HTML at the end. Save it. Go back to send the email. Select it. And there we have it without the surround. And you'll notice that the subject line is what we had in the template definition. So we're now ready to send this email. I am going to get rid of making a copy to myself. And off it goes. Here's the queue sitting in a run now state, running. Finished any second. There's the finished that email. Let's go to our email, and here is emails are beginning to show up. There it is. Here it is, Hyperlink, there's the date. And there is your email. And these buttons actually work. Now, the email is tracked, and the button that I just clicked on would be tracked. So this is completely integrated into the email tracking system. So there we have it. That's all there is to using the HTML editor. I hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching, and there are some links I should point out here. One is that we have all our video tutorials on our website, and we also have all our help documents on our website. Thank you for coming. And goodbye.